Hey, strangers. Welcome to the final episode of the Strange Sessions for Season 9.
Woohoo! Season 9.
If you've been here for the whole ride, you know I'm Krista. With me is Kurt. And as we always do at the end of the season, we have our special guest host, Kory. Hi, Kory.
Hi.
Project.
Oh,
You gotta project.
I can't project.
You gotta project.
Kory talks quietly. So
Yes.
we're trying to tell him to talk a little louder.
I'm meek.
You're not meek. There's a way that I can equalize the voices, I think, but I don't really know how to do
sounds like
that.
a lot of work.
And it sounds like a lot of work.
Anyway, if you don't
So-
want to sit through us talking
Yeah.
about this, just hit pause, check the show notes, the topic, start timestamp will be posted there.
Just turn up
Skip
your
ahead.
volume every time Kory talks,
Yeah.
and then turn it back down when we talk.
Yeah, do that.
Shout outs to our newest strangers.
We've had a lot, huh?
We've actually had
For
quite a few.
us.
Yeah.
For recently.
Shout outs to our newest strangers, Vicky Rogers, Dalton Lavelle Miller, Liz McCallum, and Mike Hoskins. So thank you guys so much for joining the group.
Welcome.
Kory, extra special thanks to you for coming on for the season finale. Again, it's tradition at this point.
It is. It's crazy. We've been doing this a long time.
2017.
When did he start coming on for like the final? Was it like season 1?
I think Kory must have been on in season 1.
Wow.
I don't think I was. I think I came in season 2 at some point, but I don't think
Season,
it was for the final.
season 1 might not have been a whole lot of episodes.
What year did you say?
2017 is
Yeah,
when we
it
started
was.
this.
Dang.
Yeah.
I'll have to look.
I listened one day. I was doing something on my computer, and I listened to like a little bit of one from like season 1. Like
And
I
you were
don't even
"Ugh."
recognize that person anymore.
Yeah, I
I'm like,
know.
I'm not the same person I was when we started.
I
Whether
can't
that's
even
good or
listen to
bad.
those because I feel like I was so cringe back then. Like, just I didn't know what the heck I
I
was
still
doing.
feel like we're cringe every
Totally.
week. You know.
I'm slightly less cringe now than I was back then.
Yup. Housekeeping. Again, this is our final episode of season 9. Next season will be the last season of phase 1 of the Strange Sessions. We don't really know what phase 2.
We're very non-committal.
We're very
saying
non-committal.
We're done,
We don't know
but-
what phase 2 is
So,
going to.
Season 2, episode 4 was John Teeter.
Oh, that's where your first time
I think
joining
that was
us.
Yeah.
the first one.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yes.
that was your first one.
That's February 17th of 2018.
That's crazy.
Season 2.
Season 2.
Yeah. That's just nuts to me.
Yeah. We were at the old school.
And we were at the old school. Remember Kory came out there? Sophie and Adam were there.
Yes. Jamie went
Rhonda
there
and
several
Mark.
times.
Jamie was there.
Rhonda and Mark, yep.
Man, oh man.
Jim
Doesn't
came
seem
on an
like that
episode
long
there.
ago.
I know, it doesn't, actually.
I still stop there when I have to pee when I'm driving down to Aaron's
That's so
house.
funny.
Before we go any farther, we got business to take care of.
What's that?
Trivia contest winners
that's
are
right.
going to be announced. We won't do another one next season because you could I think the person that got third place didn't answer a whole lot of questions. So
Oh,
I think
really?
people kind of started,
They
and then when they
puttered out,
realized how difficult it was going to be, I think a lot of people petered out.
Did the winners answer every question?
No,
Okay.
I'll say when we get to it,
Okay.
but it's right here in this envelope that was
That's not an envelope.
that was
Here
done.
in this folded piece of paper.
Torn up, folded
It's
piece.
done by the same people that did the Emmys, that tabulate the Emmys and the
Oh.
Grammys and the Oscars.
Wow.
So the sealed envelope, Kory's going to read. The first, second, and third place start with third place.
All right, third place goes to Lisa Girl 1.
Yes,
yeah,
from
she-
Instagram.
yes.
Yep. Lisa, you did awesome. I mean, that was...
Congratulations. And she just gave us a good suggestion for like next season.
Did she?
She was the one who,
Yes, she
the
did.
one on Disclosure.
Yeah, well, I keep seeing stuff about that Age of Disclosure show or whatever on Prime, but if you don't have Prime, it's like $25 to watch it.
I have Prime.
Yeah, so watch it, and I'm reading a lot about how good it is. So that is third place is
Congratulations.
Lisa from
Good job.
Instagram. Second place,
Second place, Alejandro Acha.
all right, Alejandro.
He's so sweet.
Yeah.
He's the one who would listen to our show when he was
Yes.
building his house.
Yes.
And so certain rooms would remind him of certain episodes, or certain episodes would remind him of certain
Yes.
phases of his
Yep.
house.
And
So
for
sweet.
number one,
First
we
place.
had
He's
something.
Argentina, right? He's
yes,
from Argentina.
Yes,
Okay.
we had number one was something that I kind of didn't anticipate, but
That was me winning.
that's Kory winning.
Really?
No,
Oh, okay. That one surprised me, actually.
no, because Kory was really good at it.
Yeah.
I was.
You weren't.
I wasn't up for the award.
Yeah, you weren't up for it. You were exempt.
Oh, he was just not eligible.
He was
was
not
not
eligible.
eligible.
Yeah.
But number one is not what I expected.
First place is a tie.
Yep.
Oh.
They each missed 3 questions.
Okay.
So the tie was for Roland Montgomery
Yep.
and Stephanie Blakey.
Yay.
Nice.
Awesome job, you
Is
guys.
it Stephanie's birthday?
Yesterday.
Yesterday.
Yes.
Happy birthday.
Happy birthday, Stephanie.
I think we missed a couple. Coleman's birthday I
Yes.
saw was recently, and there's somebody else. Ooh, I can't remember who it is now. It's going to bug me.
We'll get
gonna
better
look.
with that next season.
I'm going to look. Keep talking because I saw it and I wanted to say happy birthday.
It amazes me that Roland and Stephanie missed 3 questions because those were hard questions, I thought.
The ones that they didn't get?
No, like all of the questions other than the first couple. Some of them really required. I can't believe that Roland got the one about Voice of the Voyager, the pirate radio station. That blows my mind that he got one of the 2 toughies.
I mean, I was working on that one, and even I
Yeah,
needed
Kory,
to ask you,
Kory.
like, am I?
No, I had to give
submitted
you-
something, and you're like,
Yeah.
no, you're wrong. And I'm
I
like,
had to keep giving you.
wrong?
I had to keep giving you hints.
Yeah. So
So no, first place is Roland and Stephanie. Second place is Alejandro, and third place is Lisa.
Congratulations.
So Krista and I, we're still coming up with the prizes. Technically,
Yeah.
everybody whose name we read off will get a signed copy of the show notes.
Sweet.
So let me know if there's a specific episode you would like the show notes for. We'll print it out. Kory's going to have to print it out for me because Kory's got a printer.
that's right.
And then we'll sign it for you and we'll ship it off to you. Second place will get, I'm not sure what else they'll get. Third place will definitely get the signed thing. Second place will get merchandise, but that'll get sent to Argentina. That'll get sent to Alejandro. And for first place, they'll get stuff, signed stuff. And Krista and I, if you want to do it, you don't have to. I finally talk Krista into it. We'll have like a little video meet and greet with you guys. Does that sound good?
Uh-huh.
For
That stuff makes me nervous. It's just awkward for me. It was Jeffrey Gribna. He had a birthday.
Oh, yeah.
A couple
Yes.
days ago.
Yes.
And John Doucette. That's Coleman's
Yes.
dad is
Yep.
coming up, but I thought Coleman's birthday was recently too. So.
But yeah, we'll have a little meet and greet. Probably the one we use for side sessions. Maybe Zoom.
A Zoom call.
Yeah. So it'll be. We have the free one, so it won't be super long.
Yeah, I think that
But-
our limit is 40 minutes.
Yeah,
so.
which kind of sucks because like doing the
It's kind of
sides.
perfect for the side sessions,
It is.
though.
It is. But if we ever have to do anything longer than that, then we're kind of stuck.
When you sign the show notes, you should put some of that ink on Lucy's paw.
Oh,
Yeah, have
paw
Lucy
print.
sign the
print.
show notes.
That's a cute
But
idea.
Roland and Stephanie, we will contact you. We'll probably have like the little meet and greet sometime after the new year.
Yeah.
Krista's swamped right now with work
It's
stuff.
insane.
So sometime before the next season,
Yeah.
if you guys want to, if you guys don't want to.
Yeah, if you
it's up
find
to
that
you.
weird like I do. But I'll do it.
Yeah,
But,
No.
if you're a hermit like me and you're...
not a hermit.
Oh, I'm such a hermit. I would
So,
never leave this house.
Thank
if I
you
didn't
guys
have to.
so much for participating in that.
Those questions were hard.
I
so
love doing it more than I think people love doing it, but I loved coming up with the questions. So thank you so much, you guys, and great job, all of you. And also, with it being the final episode of this season, on Monday or Tuesday, I'm going to release the poll of topics for next season. And I'm going to throw a couple on there because I'm going to throw Lake Michigan Mothman on there. I'll throw a couple on there. And you guys feel free to add what you want and vote for the ones that you really like. And that's going to be open until January 1st. January 1st, I'm going to close it. And the top 10 ones that are done are going to be added to next season. So there's going to be those 10 are going to get done for sure.
And then we'll pick
And Krista
10.
and I are each picking 1 or 2 we want to do. You want to retouch the Maura Murray because I think that would be perfect to have a bookend from the
And
first
there's
season.
been updates since then.
Yeah.
So
Yes. So we're going to redo that. So the top 10 ones, and it's open to anything except anything that's like very adult. Mm-hmm. Like I said, the Johnny Gotch case, I'm like fascinated with, but then you're also getting into child trafficking and child pornography rings, and that's like
I'd like to avoid politics too, but
well, to an extent. Like if somebody wants us to talk about COVID, we can talk about COVID. If somebody wants to talk about the 9/11. We can
Yeah.
talk about
To
9/11.
me, that's not. Yeah, I guess you could tie politics into
but
that.
elections getting faked, probably not.
Yeah, no.
That's a little too politicky for me.
Yeah.
But anything you guys want me to talk about Stephen Avery, we can talk about Stephen Avery. I would actually like a chance to watch
I think we
those.
should.
Yeah, I mean, I think we should too. But I'm sure that'll get on the thing, and if not, it'll be one of my picks that I'll do. So the poll will be coming out Monday or Tuesday of this next week, so please vote. That's all I really have for housekeeping.
Cool.
I mean,
I have no housekeeping.
the Stephen Avery one, even if you do it, as long as you're respectful about,
But
simply my opinion.
Yeah, I said the reason I didn't want to do it is because I'm friends with
Yeah.
some of the Averys. I'm friends with some of the Dasseys. I'm friends with Tom Kasurek, the sheriff that put him away the first time. But
Jim's cousin was in that documentary because he was working for the sheriff's department.
oh, really?
Yeah.
I don't know if I knew that.
There were
Yeah.
3 people in it that I used to work with too.
It was so insane when that was going on. We'll talk about that when we do that
Yeah.
episode from
I think
a
we
personal
have to cover it.
perspective.
I
Yeah,
never
think-
watched the second one. Isn't that the one where the lawyer comes in, for like that big shot lawyer?
I think
Yeah.
so.
I didn't watch any of
The
that.
second one is like his appeals attorney, and then there's the anti Stephen Avery one that came out on.
I don't know. There was someone
Candace
on.
Owens hosted it. It was
Oh, I didn't hear about that.
Surprise, surprise, but there was someone on there that I thought was hot, and I have a
What?
big crush on her, and I
Stop.
don't remember who she was.
yeah, it's the case against Stephen Avery. I think maybe something similar to that, or what it was called. It was Candace Owens, and
Oh, yeah.
it was on her.
Yeah, because I heard people say that they were totally convinced.
Livewire,
Yeah.
Daily Wire, Daily
Yep.
Wire.
People
Daily
were totally
Wire
convinced
website.
he was innocent, and they watched hers, and they're like, okay, maybe he did do it.
Yeah, it just
You know?
proves how you can slant the
Oh,
documentary.
100%.
But I do think we have to tackle that next
Yeah.
season. We have letters sent to
Oh,
us from
great.
Scott Shepard.
Yeah, are we
So
opening
thank
these?
you so much, Scott.
I'm guessing they're Christmas cards.
I believe so.
A little disappointed, Scott. I didn't
Ooh.
get one.
Yay, send money.
He sent money. What
Yep.
the heck? Okay.
Thank you.
Wow. Are you going to read yours? Oh,
Yes.
shoot. I don't have my glasses on. That's going to be fun.
That's exactly what's going to go to. I'll read mine first.
Okay.
Kurt, I've been listening to you for about 10 years now, and every second Sunday still feels like a little gift when a new episode drops.
Aw.
Oh, thank you. Thank you for all the stories, laughs, and thoughtful moments you've shared over the years. Wishing you a peaceful Christmas season and a new year filled with good health, good music, and plenty of weirdness in the best possible way. Merry Christmas, and here's a little something to get breakfast on your next few recording days or whenever. From
Wow.
Scott. Thank you, Scott.
No one's ever sent us money before. We've
No.
gotten gift cards.
I
But,
like it.
Wow.
And
Okay.
I will, Scott, I will purposely save it for breakfasts next season.
I'm going to attempt to read this without my glasses. Krista, after a decade of listening, I literally can't read it. I tried.
I gotta take my glasses off.
Kurt's got to take his off to read it.
Krista, after a decade of listening, you should really hang it up. No, he doesn't say that.
I wouldn't be surprised.
Krista, after a decade of listening, your warmth, humor, and kindness still shine through every episode. Aw. I always look forward to spending every second Sunday with you, Kurt, and the show. It genuinely makes my week. Wishing you and Jim a wonderful Christmas season in your new home. Thoughts of comfort, joy, and all things cozy being sent your way. Merry Christmas, Scott. Also, here's a little something for you and Jim to grab a coffee and a little something for the new house.
Aw.
Thank you so
That made
very
me all
much,
warm
Scott.
and fuzzy.
That is awesome.
Thank
Thank
you.
you.
I knew
Scott.
that after recording was stopped, she was cursing like a sailor.
Krista does curse. Krista's been known to curse like a sailor.
Oh, I drop F-bombs like the best of them.
Yes, you do. Yeah,
This
you
is a
do.
family show.
Thank you so much, Scott.
Yes, thank you, Scott.
And
That
I am
was
saving
so
that for
thoughtful.
breakfast for next season.
We'll be getting coffee tomorrow.
I
So,
hope that they put the McGriddle meal back at $5 because that was nice.
what is it now? What is it
Seven-
normally?
$7 something.
$7 for a breakfast sandwich. Probably this big.
No, it's a.
Is it sizable?
Kory always gets the burritos, the breakfast burritos.
I like the bagels. I always say that, and I haven't had one in like 2 years. But
Yeah, I like the steak, egg, and cheese bagel. What time are we looking at?
like 20 minutes. But that's with the beginning show stuff too.
Do we
So
got any
probably
other?
like 15?
Do we have any other housekeeping?
We got to do a taste test.
Oh, we have to do a taste test.
We
Thank
should
you.
probably do that.
So this one might be good. I don't know
Okay.
exactly what it is, but based on the front, I think I know what it is.
Don't know what it is.
No,
Great.
but I think based on the front, I know what it is. Got it from the Asian market.
Oh,
Both of
okay.
these are from the Asian market. The Christmas one will be fun, I think.
Japanese Red Bull.
"Quote unquote" fun.
Quote unquote fun. This is for this episode.
Oh boy, let's see here.
I really like the bag.
These
I
sound
like
it's
the
like shrimp flavored.
So it's 88 Soul Rosé Tapaki Snack.
But based on what the picture looks like, show it to Krista. I love the
I wanna
picture
take
of
a
the girl.
picture. Oh,
It
it
looks
looks
like
like
a-
pasta.
It looks like spaghetti.
Yeah, like a dried.
So is it like a
Looks
is
like
it like a
pasta.
spaghetti flavored cracker?
That's my guess. I mean, Tapaki
I
is
don't
like
know.
a noodle.
And rosé is like a wine, right? So,
Yeah.
oh, this is very confusing. You
Yeah.
want to open it, Kory?
Kory can take the sniff test. Holy
Yes,
cow.
I don't have to struggle with opening
No, Kory
something.
is struggling
Do you
with
need
it.
this ceremonial dagger?
No,
Nope.
we're good.
Take,
All right.
Here goes the take a whiff. I bet you it smells like spaghetti.
Smells like spaghetti sauce and like Parmesan cheese.
Okay.
Oh.
I mean, that's not
I
bad.
love Parmesan cheese.
I do too.
Yeah, that does smell good. It's not going to be gross.
No.
I'm saving that one for Christmas.
Yeah. It also kind of reminded me of Pringles a little bit. It has like a
Oh my god, I
Pringles
love
smell.
Pringles. That's my favorite chip.
Oh, it looks, I'm just going to pour some out here. It looks like penne. Not penne, but very similar to penne. All right, I got to take a picture of that. Okay, this is interesting. Very weird.
Seasoned very well.
I'm gonna smell
Okay.
it.
They almost look
It
like mini
smells
churros.
like ravioli or something.
We're all so like
Afraid?
unsure of this.
No, that's the Christmas one we're going to be unsure of.
Okay, ready?
Yep. Oh,
Oh. It's sweeter than I thought it was going
that
to
is
be.
not what I was expecting.
No. What does this remind me of?
Spaghetti flavored frosted flakes. Seriously, that's what this
no,
reminds
I
me
get
of.
corn. I get like that corn. It's spicy.
Wow.
I
Oh.
wasn't expecting
Oh my
it to be
god, I wasn't
spicy.
expecting this either.
That's pretty good.
It's sweet. Yeah, I don't think they're bad.
What?
I don't want
Kurt's
them.
not into it. He
No?
doesn't. He's offended. He's offended by the unknown spice he
Making
wasn't
weird
prepared
hand
for.
gestures here.
Okay, that is spicier than I like. Oh,
The sweet note is what's throwing me off, though.
the sweetness is weird. It's like a spicy spaghetti flavored frosted flake. That's to me. That's
That has
exactly what it
sugar on
tastes
it.
like. It has sugar on it.
That is weird.
I like it.
I mean, it's good.
I like it, but I don't like the spice. Not everything
I
needs
don't
to be
hate
spicy.
the spice, actually.
Well, the spice isn't bad.
It's not a bad spice. I mean, it's there. It's spicy, but
Yeah, the
it's a
sugar
back of the
throws it
throat
off.
spice.
Save those for Jim to try, or Lucy.
Well, look at her face. We should have known. She looks offended by the spice.
Wow,
as
that is
well.
really spicy.
Yeah, I was
Ugh.
not expecting that.
Yeah, not a fan. I'm gonna give it a 7.
I'll give it an 8.
Yeah, I'll give it an
It's
8
just
too.
It's just a weird combination of senses. Of sensory.
Yeah, it's a
like
lot.
The
There's a lot
salty,
going on.
Sugary, spicy. It's got like everything.
It has really good crunch. I like the texture a lot.
I love the texture of it. I wish I could find.
You'd think they put like a pepper on here or something to tell you that it's spicy, though.
Oh,
They could have gone without the like sugar glaze.
if it would be more.
Yeah, I don't get
like,
the sugary
savory
part.
and less sugary. I think they would be great. But I don't understand the sweetness.
Yeah, that's weird.
Hoy,
Hoi.
my mouth
Is that Japanese for hot?
I think so. My mouth is burning.
Yeah, that was unexpected. Okay,
Oh, yeah. You ready for my story?
let's do it.
So here's the story behind my story.
Oh, okay. The story behind the story.
the fourth wall of a story.
It is. It's like Strange Sessions.
It's like the side sessions.
Oh, so this was going to be a side session story. I stumbled across this like a month ago, and I pride myself on knowing a lot of weird, obscure trivia, but I never heard of this guy before ever. So I stumbled across this, and I was like, this is really fascinating. And then we decided we weren't going to do another side sessions. But I really wanted to do this in person with you guys because it's a fascinating story. So I was going to do the Flatwoods Monster for this episode and save this story for the Christmas episode. But I remember somebody saying that they listened to the Christmas episode while they were eating Christmas dinner, and this is not an episode you want to listen to when you're
okay.
eating Christmas dinner because
Disclaimer.
it's gross.
Okay,
It's
okay.
very gross. Some parts are very gross.
Like gory?
No.
Is this like a listener
No.
discretion
No,
type thing?
not gory gross. You'll
Like,
see
gross.
when we get into it.
Okay.
But so I decided I'm going to do this now, Flatwoods Monster, if we have time during the Christmas one. If not, it'll get saved for next season.
Yeah.
At some point
There's
next
a Christmas one.
Huh?
Yeah,
If
what
there's a
Christmas
Christmas
episode?
one.
What are you talking about?
They already know there's a Christmas one.
We have said it
Next
multiple
season,
times.
I think there'll be some mop-up episode where we just do stuff that we didn't get to towards the end when we're
Everything
panicking.
but the kitchen sink
Everything
episode.
but wow, my mouth is still burning.
Yeah, that was spicy.
That lingers. So I decided I'm going to do this now, even though it's technically not paranormal. It's not paranormal.
Okay.
It's strange. Kory's isn't paranormal either, but Kory's is scary.
Just like a good story. It doesn't have to be
Kory's
paranormal.
is scary without having to be paranormal.
Okay.
So mine
Excited.
is the tale
So
of...
wait, sorry. Which teaser photo is which?
Mine is the actors.
Kory's is the one
Okay.
with John Travolta and Christian Slater, and mine is
Okay.
the drawing of the guy holding up the mouse. So this is the story of Tarrare.
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 Okay.
Oh, okay.
You ready?
I know what that's about.
Do you?
Oh, geez.
You've heard of this before?
Yeah.
Okay. I didn't, and it
No?
amazes me that I've never heard of this. So Tarrare was born near Lyon, France around 1772. His date of birth is unrecorded, and it is not known if Tarrare was his real name or a nickname. This mostly all comes from Wikipedia and from an All That Is Interesting story. That's where I stumbled across it. So 1772 he was born. They don't know if Tarrare was his real name or a nickname. As a child, it was quickly discovered that there was something unique about Tarrare. Kory, you know what it is? What was he?
Continue.
Okay. They discovered that he had an unusually large appetite, and by his teens could eat the beef equivalent of a quarter of a cow, weighing as much as him himself. How much is a quarter of a cow?
A lot. We've bought a quarter of a cow.
Yeah, we have a quarter of a cow too. I think it's like 600 pounds, but it might
That'd
not be
practically
the
fill this.
dressing weight.
But
or
he
the
could eat it
whatever.
in a single day.
I have a small
Yeah.
chest freezer here.
He could eat the beef equivalent of a quarter of a cow, weighing as much as
How's
him
that even
himself
possible?
in a single day. By this time, his parents could not provide for him, and
I think I know this story now too.
yeah, and like I never heard of this. It's just crazy to me. It's a really short story, so it's not long. But by this time, when he was a teenager, his parents could not provide for him and forced him to leave home, which I get because if he's eating
Yeah.
that much.
Out of house and home, literally.
For some years after this, he toured the country with a roaming band of thieves and prostitutes, because who hasn't? Stealing and begging for
As you do in your youth.
As you do. Stealing and begging for food before gaining employment as a warm-up act to a traveling charlatan.
That sounds about right.
Tarrare drew a crowd by eating corks, stones, and by swallowing an entire basketful of apples one after the other. He ate ravenously and was particularly fond of snake meat. In 1788, Tarrare moved to Paris to work as a street performer. He appears to have been very successful, but on one occasion the act went wrong and he suffered severe intestinal obstruction.
What?
Members of the crowd watching him carried him to the local hospital where he was treated with powerful laxatives. He made a full recovery and while in the hospital offered to demonstrate his act by eating his surgeon's watch and chain. The surgeon was unimpressed by the offer and warned him that if he did that, he would cut him open to recover the items. Despite his unusual diet, Tarrare was slim and of average height. At the age of 17, he only weighed about 100 pounds, which is crazy when he eats that much. He was described as having unusually soft, fair hair and an abnormally wide mouth, roughly 4 inches between his jaws when his mouth was fully extended. Is that like
Between
Steven
his
Tyler? Is that like
jaws?
Steven Tyler?
Yeah, right.
Like, is 4 inches
That
a
seems
lot?
like a lot.
Well, a dollar bill is 6.
Okay, so
So if you open your jaw,
So, like that from here to
Yeah.
here.
yeah, that is pretty
That's
big.
pretty big.
That's like Steven Tyler big.
Yeah, he does have a big mouth, doesn't he?
In which is, unusually soft, fair hair and abnormally wide mouth, 4 inches between his jaws, in which his teeth were heavily stained and on which the lips were almost invisible. When he had not eaten, his skin hung so loosely that he could wrap the fold of skin from his abdomen around his waist.
I got to look at that picture now.
When full, his abdomen distended like a huge balloon. The skin of his cheeks was wrinkled and hung loosely, and when stretched out, he could hold 12 eggs or 12 apples in his mouth.
What?
Wow.
Yeah. His body was unusually hot to the touch, and he sweated heavily. He constantly had a foul body odor and was described as smelling, quote, to such a degree that he could not be endured within the distance of 20 paces.
So that tells me that he had a really high metabolism.
Yeah, he had something going on. This smell became noticeably worse after he had eaten. His eyes and cheeks became bloodshot. A visible vapor rose from his body, and he became lethargic, during which time he belched noisily and his jaws made swallowing motions. He had chronic diarrhea, which was said to be, quote, fetid beyond all conception. So, wow, I've been there, you know. Yeah.
It's like colonoscopy prep all the time.
Yeah, like
situation.
fetid beyond all conception is like my new favorite phrase. Despite his large intake of food, he did not appear either to vomit excessively or to gain weight.
Excessively, but maybe a little bit of vomit.
The normal vomiting,
Normal
I guess.
vomiting.
Aside from, and you see why I didn't do this during the Christmas meal?
Yes, I do.
Yeah. Aside from his eating habits, his contemporaries saw no apparent signs of mental illness or unusual behavior in him other than an apathetic temperament with, quote, a complete lack of force and ideas.
Wow.
So he's very simple.
Yeah.
I think I've been described as having a complete lack of force and ideas, too.
Fetid.
And fetid beyond comprehension. What was it? Fetid beyond all conception. The cause of Tarrare's behavior is not known. While there are other documented cases of similar behavior from the period, none of the subjects other than Tarrare were autopsied, and there have been no modern documented cases resembling Tarrare. Hyperthyroidism can induce an extreme appetite, rapid weight loss, profuse sweating, heat intolerance, and fine hair.
Okay.
Jan Bondison speculates that Tarrare had a damaged
Amygdala?
Yeah, is that how you say it?
Yeah.
Amygdala. It is known that injuries to the amygdala in animals can induce polyphagia. On the outbreak of the War of the First Coalition, Tarrare joined the French Revolutionary Army. However, military rations were insufficient to satisfy his appetite. He carried out tasks for other soldiers in return for a share of their rations and scavenged in dung heaps for scraps. But this was not enough to satisfy him.
Okay.
He was admitted to the military hospital with a case of extreme exhaustion. He was granted quadruple rations but still remained hungry. He scavenged for garbage in gutters and trash containers, ate the scraps of food left by other patients, and crept into the apothecary's room to eat the poultices. Military surgeons could not understand his appetite. Tarrare was ordered to remain in the military hospital to take part in physiological experiments designed by Dr. Corville, surgeon to the 9th Hussar Regiment, and Pierre-Francois Percy, surgeon-in-chief of the hospital. Corville and Percy decided to test Tarrare's capacity for food. A meal had been prepared for 15 workers near the hospital gates. Although generally hospital staff had to physically restrain Tarrare in the presence of food, on this occasion, Corville allowed him to reach the table undisturbed. Tarrare ate the entire meal of 2 large meat pies, plates of grease and salt, and 4 gallons of milk, and then immediately fell asleep. As you do. Corville noted that Tarrare's belly became taut and inflated like a large balloon. Ooh, this next part. Might want to cup your kids' ears, the strangelings. On another occasion, Tarrare was presented with a live cat. He promptly tore the cat's abdomen open with his teeth, drank its blood, and proceeded to eat the entire cat aside from its bones before vomiting up the remnants of its fur and skin.
Oh, what the heck?
Following this, hospital staff offered Tarrare a variety of other animals,
I
including...
wonder how much of this is actually true.
Apparently it all is. I mean, all the sites talk about this.
Really?
Hospital staff offered Tarrare a variety of other animals, including snakes, lizards, and puppies, all of which were eaten.
Puppies?
Yeah. The dog died in this one. He also swallowed...
The dog was not okay.
No. He also swallowed an entire eel without chewing, having first crushed its head with his teeth. It was said that, I can't understand this, it was said that, quote, dogs and cats fled in terror at his aspect, as if they had anticipated the kind of fate he was preparing for them. Make sure Lucy stays away from this guy.
Yeah, jeez.
After several months that he spent as an experimental case, military authorities began to press for Tarrare to be returned to active duty. Dr. Corville was keen to continue his investigations into Tarrare's eating habits and digestive system and approached General Alexander de Beauharnais with a suggestion that Tarrare's unusual abilities and behavior could be put to military use. A document was placed inside a wooden box, which was in turn fed to Tarrare. 2 days later, the box was retrieved from his excrement with the document still in legible condition.
So he's a mule now.
Yeah. Corville proposed to Beauharnais that Tarrare could serve as a military courier, carrying documents secretly through enemy territory with no risk of them being found if he were searched. Tarrare was called on by Beauharnais to demonstrate his abilities before a gathering of the commanders of the Army of the Rhine. Having swallowed the box successfully, Tarrare was given a wheelbarrow filled with 30 pounds of raw bull's lungs and livers as a reward, which he immediately ate in front of the assembled generals. So they must have been like, what? Yeah, Krista's just
Some of this just sounds
just
a little
in awe.
far-fetched to me. Like, how would that even... whatever.
Following this successful demonstration, Tarrare became employed officially as a spy of the Army of the Rhine. Although Beauharnais was convinced of Tarrare's physical capacity to carry messages internally, he was concerned about his mental state and initially reluctant to entrust him with significant military documents. Tarrare was ordered as his first assignment to carry a message to a French colonel imprisoned by the Prussians near Neustadt. He was told that the document he was carrying was of great military significance, but in reality, Beauharnais had merely written a note asking the colonel to confirm that the message had been received successfully. Tarrare crossed Prussian lines under cover of darkness, disguised as a German peasant. Unable to speak German, he soon attracted the attention of local residents who alerted the Prussian authorities, and he was soon captured. A strip search found nothing suspicious on his person, and despite being whipped by Prussian soldiers, he refused to betray his mission, believing he was carrying top-secret information. Brought before the local Prussian commander, he again refused to talk and was imprisoned. After 24 hours of captivity and beatings, Tarrare relented and explained the scheme to his captors. He was chained to a latrine, and eventually, 30 hours after being swallowed, the wooden box emerged. The commanders were furious when the documents, which Tarrare had tried protecting because he thought it contained vital intelligence, transpired only to be the dummy message. Poor guy. He was like fighting. He was like getting beat because he thought he had this top secret information, and it's just like a colon gram saying, "Hey, let me know if you get this, LOL." You know.
I assume the box he swallowed was like a tiny
That's
little
my guess.
thing.
But you never know with him if he can swallow apples and stuff like that.
And entire eels.
Yeah. So they got that. Although some sources state that the captors never retrieved the box, as Tarrare had the presence of mind to eat the stool containing the box so it could not be seized by the Prussians. So he pooped out the box and then ate his poop with the box so that it would not get found by the Prussians.
Gross.
Tarrare was taken to the gallows and the noose placed around his neck. At the last minute, the captors relented.
He didn't eat the noose?
No, at the last minute, the captors relented and Tarrare was taken down from the scaffold, given another severe beating, and released near the French lines. Following this incident, Tarrare was desperate to avoid further military service, not surprised, and returned to the hospital telling Percy, his doctor, that he would attempt any possible cure for his appetite. Percy treated him with laudanum without success. Further treatments with both wine vinegar and tobacco pills were likewise unsuccessful. So apparently, I don't know. Following these failures, Percy fed Tarrare large quantities of soft-boiled eggs, but this also failed to suppress his appetite. I don't know.
Just high protein content or
apparently.
something?
Efforts to keep him on any kind of controlled diet failed. He would sneak out of the hospital to scavenge for guts outside butcher shops and to fight stray dogs for rotting meat in the gutters, alleys, and rubbish heaps.
I'd be really curious to know what like a modern day doctor would, how they would treat it.
I don't know. I have some kind of bypass
Let him
thing.
have some Arby's. He won't be hungry.
Talk about diarrhea. Fetid beyond all comprehension. And where was I here? He was also caught several times within the hospital, drinking from patients undergoing bloodletting and attempting to eat the bodies in the hospital's morgue. Other doctors believed that Tarrare was mentally ill and pressed for him to be transferred to a lunatic asylum, but Percy was keen to continue his experiments and Tarrare remained in the military hospital. After some time, a 14-month-old toddler disappeared from the hospital, and Tarrare was immediately suspected of having eaten the toddler due to his past of eating animals. Percy was unable or unwilling to defend him, and the hospital staff chased Tarrare from the hospital, to which he never returned. 4 years later...
Was the kid found?
No, couldn't find anything saying that. 4 years later, in 1798, a doctor in a Versailles hospital contacted Percy to notify him that a patient of theirs wanted to see him. It was Tarrare, now bedridden and weak. Tarrare told Percy that he believed he had swallowed a golden fork 2 years earlier, which he now believed was lodged inside him, causing his current weakness. He hoped that Percy could find some way to remove it. Percy, however, recognized that what he actually had was advanced tuberculosis. A month later, Tarrare began to experience continuous bloody diarrhea, dying shortly afterwards. The corpse rotted quickly. The surgeons of the hospital refused to dissect it. The doctor, however, wanted to find out how Tarrare's intestines differed from those of normal people. He was also curious as to whether a gold fork was lodged inside him. At the autopsy, Tarrare's gullet was found to be abnormally wide, and when his jaws were open, surgeons could see straight down a broad canal into his stomach. His body was found to be filled with pus, his liver and gallbladder were abnormally large, and his stomach was enormous, covered in ulcers, filling most of his abdominal cavity. No golden fork was ever found. So that is a story of Tarrare.
Wow.
Yeah, right?
I mean,
That's not the story I thought it was going to be.
It's not paranormal, but it's definitely strange.
Yeah.
I thought he had a thing for eating metal.
No, there's somebody else that did.
Okay, that's who
It's
I
a guy who ate a plane.
Yeah.
That's
and
who I thought you were going to talk
thought
about.
Partnering this with the guy that could eat metal, but I wanted to keep it short so we weren't here all day.
Yeah, well, as soon as you said 1700s, I'm like, it's
there's
not
that thing
guy.
called pica where...
Oh, pica, yeah. People eat weird stuff.
Yeah, like
Chalk.
I said, my friend May, when she was pregnant with her second baby, she couldn't buy Gain powder detergent because she wanted to eat it so badly, and she doesn't know what it was. Yeah. But there's people that eat clay.
Yeah.
You know.
Crayons.
Yeah, crayons.
Chalk was one of them, too.
Chalk.
Yeah.
Yeah, but a lot of that is like if you have a vitamin deficiency, like chewing ice cubes means you need magnesium or something like that.
I mean, it's definitely a different story, but you can see based on like what he found with the autopsy, why.
It sounds like...
Because if he had a straight shot and
his mouth to his stomach,
intestines really didn't play a part or weren't there was no time lapse from eating something until having it absorb nutrients. Yeah. So he basically just ate it. It went right to his stomach. So he needed probably what would have been like some kind of supplement. In current medical terminology, something that would be able to, satiate him for a while.
Slow digestion, whatever.
And the fact that he had a, big esophagus and his mouth was overly big, you could see why he was able to do some of the things he did. So it's strange. And I'm sure there's been other documented people.
Yeah, but that's the thing is that like you would think you would have heard some more modern stuff like this, but I've never heard of anybody like this,
So, but all the genetic deformities that go on over time, that somebody would have something similar to that.
Yeah. But is this true? I mean, did he eat that 14-month-old toddler? I'd like to think he didn't, but if he was eating bodies in the morgue, but like you said, who knows how much of this is true? I mean, this might have been like super embellished, but everything I looked at about this talked about this.
But did they get it all from the same source?
I don't know. I don't know. But I thought it was like a crazy story.
Heck yeah.
But you don't want to be eating your Christmas dinner with the family when you're listening to that. Especially eating the cat. Like that was the...
Yeah.
And the puppy. And the puppy, of course.
Well, you even mentioned that he was scavenging with dogs in the gut garbage wagons and gutters and stuff. And it's like, why didn't he just go after the dogs? So they make him seem like a bad guy, but then he's fighting with the dogs to get some scraps.
I felt bad for his old army adventures having to swallow the box but people still do that. I mean, that's still one thing that spies do is swallow swallow a capsule that has the note in it. So he was ahead of his time with that. But that is my story of Tarrare. So hopefully you liked it and hopefully you weren't too grossed out by it. But I figured it was
good disclaimer at the beginning.
The season.
Don't eat while you're listening.
Yeah, don't eat while you're listening to this. So that's my story. Now, Kory's is frightening without being paranormal.
Okay.
And I actually wanted to do this story a couple times, and I just never got around to it. So I just think it's fascinating. Wonder if anybody got the
picture. I'm sure people.
That there's a picture of John Travolta and Christian Slater. It involves what movie they were in.
Okay. All right. On February 13th, 1950, a B-36 bomber known as Flight 2075 took off from Eielson Air Force Base near Fairbanks, Alaska, with a crew of 17. The test flight was meant to replicate a bombing run on a major city in the Soviet Union due to the increased fear of the Cold War. The B-36 was slated to fly a 5,500-mile route from Alaska to Montana, then down to San Francisco, which was going to be its bombing quote-unquote target, and then finally landing at Carswell Air Force Base in Texas. But things didn't go as planned. Not long after taking off, ice began to accumulate on the bomber's fuselage, and the excess weight put tremendous strain on the engines, 3 of which caught fire and had to be shut down. With only 3 other functioning engines, the B-36 began to lose altitude at a rate of 500 feet per minute. Captain Harold Berry and his crew acted quickly. Their first order was to ditch any weight which included any bombs, following military protocol to keep the weapons or their components out of enemy hands. But when Berry's co-pilot hit the salvo button to release the bombs, nothing happened. He then hit a second time, releasing the bomb bay doors and apparently dropping the bombs over the Pacific.
The bombs that were active,
We'll get to that.
Okay.
Ooh, Kurt
I just got Kory'd.
Kurted. Then Berry set the failing plane's autopilot to steer it on a course towards the open ocean, while he and his crew parachuted into the darkness over Princess Royal Island off the coast of British Columbia, Canada. The abandoned B-36 cruised for another 200 miles, veering from its set course and then apparently crashing into the snowy Canadian wilderness. Immediately, a combined force of the U.S. and Canadian military launched a massive search and rescue mission involving 40 aircraft scouring the frozen coastline. Thanks to their efforts, 12 of the 17 crew members were recovered alive, including one man found dangling upside down from his parachute in a tree with a broken ankle.
Oh.
That's not a good day.
How long he was hanging there.
Yeah.
5 crewmen, including the weaponeer, Captain Theodore Schreier, were never found. The U.S. military interviewed the crew, who each corroborated Captain Harold Berry's report that the bombs were safely detonated before the crash to prevent their secrets. Meanwhile, the search continued for the wreckage of Flight 2075, the only way to confirm if any of the airmen's stories were actually true. The U.S. Air Force search team couldn't find a trace of the downed plane, and it assumed it had crashed in the Pacific. But 3 years later, a Canadian rescue operation searching for a missing oil prospector spotted the wreckage high atop Mount Colleget in British Columbia. The Air Force tried 3 times to send expeditions to the remote mountain crash site, but each time had to turn back due to bad weather and grueling conditions. Finally, in 1954, a small demolition crew reached the downed B-36.
It was that hard to get to?
Yeah. I looked at a picture of Mount Colleget. It's
up there?
It's up there. And proceeded to strip the plane of any classified equipment and to destroy it.
But you said 12 people survived? 12 of the 17?
12 of 17.
Wow.
That's pretty good.
Yeah, crashing into a mountain.
Since the demolitions crew report was top secret, no public word ever emerged about the whereabouts of the missing plane or airmen. Were there clues in the wreckage that the bombs had in fact been released prior to impact? In the absence of definite proof, rumors began to swirl about the true fate of the lost plane and a special cargo. At the epicenter of these rumors was Captain Schreier, the missing weaponeer. A number of unsubstantiated claims pointed to an alternate fate for the plane. First, there was a rumor that a body was found in the wreckage on Mount Colleget. What if it was Schreier's? The weaponeer was a former airline pilot and could have attempted to fly the plane back to Alaska while the others bailed out.
Oh, so people jumped out before it crashed? Okay.
Adding fuel to the conspiracy fire, a second claim that Captain Berry had seen the bomber turn sharply soon after he leapt out into the midnight sky. The story began to circulate that Schreier died trying to get it back to the safety of the Air Force Base. Or did he take it for his own purposes? None of these rumors were ever confirmed by the military, however, and over the following 50 years, other adventurers and amateur investigators made pilgrimages to the Flight 2075 crash site.
Is it still up there?
Yeah. They dismantled some of it and took all the
but it's just like
secrets.
the body of the plane is there.
They made pilgrimages to the crash site in British Columbia to see what they could find and or pilfer. In 2003, an investigative team led by John Clearwater, an expert on Canada's weapons program, journeyed to the crash site to make his own assessment. At first, it appeared that most of the plane had been destroyed in the 1954 demolition crew or stolen by generations of adventurous looters. Then he found something interesting. While the crash and ensuing demolition destroyed much of the equipment in the bomb bay, the bomb shackle, which is what held the weapons suspended there, remained impressively intact. Clearwater and his team concluded that if the bombs had gone down with the rest of the plane and the shackle remained in such good condition, there would have been some clear evidence of bombs in the wreckage. But there wasn't. Did the bombs drop? Were the bombs attached to the plane and stolen by someone, some other nation? And why do we care about these stupid bombs anyway? The most conventional explanation of the fate of America's first broken arrow
that's where the
movie
was likely the truth. The remains of the detonated or undetonated Mark IV nuclear bombs arresting deep on the ocean floor.
Yeah.
The Mark IV was the same bomb that was used on Nagasaki on August 9th, 1945. The crash of Flight 2075 may have been the first broken arrow, but it wasn't the last. Clearwater writes that in the first 24 years of the atomic age alone, the U.S. and Soviet Union jettisoned or accidentally released at least 23 other lost nuclear weapons.
That's so crazy.
Okay.
Yeah.
Up to the 1980s, we had 9 more. To date, there is an assumption that we are in the hundreds of incidents.
That's great.
Of nuclear bombs just laying somewhere.
So the term broken arrow is defined as, quote, an accidental event that involves nuclear weapons, warheads, or components that does not create a risk of nuclear war. The term comes from the military under a reporting classification called Pinnacle. Pinnacle is a chairman of the Joint Chiefs of Staff reporting flag word used in the United States National Command Authority structure. The term Pinnacle denotes an incident of interest to the major commands, Department of Defense, and National Command Authority in that it, quote, generates a higher level of military action.
Is you saying this on the podcast? Pinnacle going to get us?
Oh, it might.
Get us flagged.
Causes a national reaction, may affect international relationships, causes immediate widespread coverage in the news media, is clearly against the national interest, and affects current national policy.
So say they accidentally drop one in Lake Winnebago flying over it. Are they going to tell us that there's a nuclear bomb there, or do you think they're going to just...
Knowing the way that the government runs,
just cover
they're going to cover it up.
So,
just try to go and get it.
So we might not even really know how many...
No, there'll probably be some kind of UFO incident that we need to pay attention to instead.
Yeah, exactly.
So broken arrow is one of several terms used to make you stain your underpants. The next one is knuck flash. Knuck flash refers to a detonation or possible detonation of a nuclear weapon which creates a risk of outbreak of nuclear war. Events which may be classified knuck flash include accidental, unauthorized, or unexplained nuclear degradation or detonation of a possible weapon, accidental or unauthorized launch of a nuclear-armed or nuclear-capable missile in the direction of or having the capability to reach another nuclear-capable country, unauthorized flight of or deviation from an approved flight plan by a nuclear-armed or nuclear-capable aircraft with the capability to penetrate the airspace of another nuclear-capable country, detonation of an unidentified object by a missile warning system, or interference experienced by such a system of related communications that appears threatening and could create a risk of nuclear war. And this term is a report that has the highest precedence in the reporting structure.
Knuck flash. Yeah.
The next one is bent spear.
Bent spear I've heard of.
Yeah, that's the...
Not to be confused with the Betts sphere.
Oh,
that's different. That's a whole different thing. The nickname bent spear refers to incidents involving nuclear weapons, warheads, or components, or vehicles transporting nuclear material that include violations or breaches of handling and security regulations. An example of a bent spear occurred on August 2007, pretty recent.
Yeah, that's not that long ago.
Which was the flight of a B-52 bomber from Minot Air Force Base in North Dakota to Barksdale Air Force Base in Louisiana, which mistakenly carried 6 cruise missiles with live nuclear warheads.
Whoops!
Instead of the
Who's
dummies,
making these mistakes?
instead of the dummies that they were supposed to.
Come on.
So that would be a bent spear.
That is definitely a bent spear.
Broken arrow, which we talked about, but it's an accidental or unexplained nuclear explosion, non-nuclear detonation or burning of a nuclear weapon, radioactive contamination, a loss in transit of a nuclear asset with or without its carrying vehicle, the jettisoning of a nuclear weapon or nuclear component, and a public hazard actual or implied by having an accidental or unexplained nuclear explosion. The next one is emergency disablement. This simply refers to operations involving the emergency destruction of nuclear weapons. Emergency evacuation, which refers to operations involving the evacuation of a nuclear weapon or nuclear site. We actually have that at Point Beach, where if something were to go wrong, there's an emergency evacuation and all kinds of following plans and relocations.
So when I worked at the Sheriff's Department in Manitowoc, we would take part in those drills.
Oh, would you?
Yeah, it was like an all-day thing.
Yeah, like
I would have to call like hotels to find out how many rooms that could accommodate people if needed.
Yeah,
and
it's
like,
based on wind direction and wind speed, so it tells you which directions
where's
you have
the
to
plume
evacuate.
and what direction. Yeah, it was actually kind of fun. I'm not gonna lie, it was the fun part of that job. It wasn't every year. I think it would bounce because there's another nuclear plant.
There was.
Well,
Yeah.
where was that
Kewaunee.
one? Kewaunee, yes. So we would alternate between the two.
That one's in decommissioning. Empty quiver refers to the seizure, theft, or loss of a functioning nuclear weapon.
it's weird how they all these refer to nuclear weapons as arrows.
I know.
You know,
Some kind of
quiver. Yeah, spear.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
That's interesting.
Pointed weapons.
So the empty quiver, thankfully, none of these have ever happened, or so we think.
So we know.
So that we know of.
Fated giant refers to an event involving a military nuclear reactor or other radiological accident not involving nuclear weapons. This would be such as the SL-1 reactor explosion. Stationary low power reactor number 1, also known as SL-1. Initially, the Argonne low power reactor was a United States Army experimental nuclear reactor at the National Reactor Testing Station in Idaho, about 40 miles west of Idaho Falls, now the Idaho National Laboratory. It operated from 1958 to 1961, when in 1961 an accidental explosion killed 3 plant operators, leading to massive changes in reactor design. This is the only U.S. reactor accident to have caused immediate deaths.
Was there radiation released, or was it just...
There was radiation and explosion.
Dang.
Dull sword, again.
Dull sword.
Dull sword refers to reports of minor incidents involving nuclear weapons, components, or systems, or which could impair these deployments. These could include actions involving vehicles capable of carrying nuclear weapons, but with no nuclear weapons on board at the time of the accident. This also is used to report damage or deficiencies with equipment, tools, or diagnostic testers that are designed for use on nuclear weapons or nuclear weapon release systems of nuclear-capable aircraft. So at the core of any nuclear bomb is fission material, typically uranium or plutonium, which releases energy by splitting atoms when triggered. Many thermonuclear weapons also contain a secondary fusion component, which magnifies the destructive power by fusing atoms after the initial fission reaction. But there's more to a bomb than just the radioactive material. A conventional explosive system is designed to initiate the chain reaction only when specifically activated. In some designs, the radioactive core is stored separately and inserted into the bomb only when needed. In other designs...
So they're separate. So
Yep.
the core is separate from the actual bomb.
So when you actually arm it, you push the core into
physically.
the bomb. Yeah.
Okay. I didn't know that.
No, I didn't either.
In other designs, intricate...
You don't just open a side panel and press a button like they do in the
No.
movies? Oh, okay.
Like a MacGyver?
24.
Every Bond
like
movie I've ever
24.
seen.
Jack Bauer.
Intricate fail-safe mechanisms are used to prevent accidental detonation. This leads to an ongoing debate. If the nuclear core isn't fitted or isn't armed, should that scenario be called a nuclear bomb? Or is it simply a conventional explosive without nuclear material on board? Despite the distinctions, a weapon that's capable of being converted into a fully functioning nuclear bomb or that contains crucial radioactive parts is still considered extremely dangerous. So why are these hard to find when they're missing? The watery Atlantic and Pacific depths are vast, making any search for sunken weapons a needle in the haystack affair. Mud, silt, and powerful currents can bury or transport debris so thoroughly that even advanced technologies can't guarantee success.
So are the ones that are missing, do they have the components together?
We'll get to that.
Okay.
On land, items may burrow too deeply into the soil for safe retrieval.
Like find that on your farm.
In many cases, the risks of disturbing an unknown or partially damaged nuclear device outweigh any potential benefit in trying to dig it up. While the components may degrade over time, there is always some lingering risk of contamination. And I don't know if you watched, I don't think you have, but the newest Expedition Unknown.
I haven't yet.
The newest one is the Goonies one.
Yes.
The one before that is they're looking for a U-70, I think it was, submarine. And they're down in the depths of water scuba diving, and they find depth charges that haven't exploded. They find mines that haven't exploded.
Yeah. That's scary.
So even just normal, boats from World War II still have bombs,
weapons,
landmines. You can still find all these things in different
It freaks me out to think of a bomb like down at the bottom of the Atlantic that's just slowly
releasing
or gonna
or if somebody finds where it is and like Russia goes to pick
it up.
Today's transport aircraft like the Air Force's C-17 are the only jets that are allowed to fly America's nuclear weapons when they need to be transported for inspection, replacement, or redeployment.
Who knows this stuff is happening? I know they were flying nuclear bombs around.
I thought that we were getting diminishing our nuclear stockpile, but then I think that with
we're all supposed to, right?
Yeah, we're all supposed to.
But I think it's also ramping up with the world, the situation it's in,
They're never going to tell you the truth.
No.
That's a good point.
Flying at some point may be the only option when transporting nuclear weapons to and from bases in Europe. But within the U.S., the government prefers to use trucks and trains since they are less risky than flight. The Department of Energy even has heavily modified tractor trailers complete with booby traps, immobilizing foam, and tear gas designs to stop would-be thieves while transporting nuclear weapons by road.
That's got to be a scary job to be transporting. You never know if...
Every once in a while you'll see on the news or Reddit or TikTok or YouTube where somebody's driving and they all get stopped, and then you'll see a big truck come through.
Yeah.
And it's escorted by the military or several police vehicles. And they're carrying something that's...
Yeah.
I've never seen that.
Very dangerous.
I didn't know that was a thing.
Yeah.
It's not like an oversized truck like we see here in Manitowoc that comes through there.
Wide load coming
with the wide load.
You'll know it's something bad coming through. But don't relax just yet. There's always a chance for something to go wrong. The U.S. still has thousands of nuclear weapons in about a dozen states and a handful of European countries as well, and aboard 14 Ohio-class ballistic missile submarines. So there are still plenty of possibilities for individual incidents to happen. Quote, "We don't constantly fly them on B-52 bombers anymore, but there are still plenty of movements of nuclear weapons occurring," says Hans Christensen, director of the Nuclear Information Project for the Federation of American Scientists, who point out that there are sometimes inconsistencies in public records on how many incidents count as, quote, broken arrows.
Yikes.
Most of these lost weapons are presumed inactive, either lacking their nuclear cores or severely damaged. However, the fact remains that such devices exist beyond the confines of military bases. Even if bombs were missing critical parts, finding it or admitting it is lost carries significant political and diplomatic ramifications.
Yeah, they're not going to tell us that. Oh,
no.
Guess what? We dropped.
Yeah, especially in the middle of a Wisconsin cornfield, we happen to drop a nuclear weapon, but don't worry, we're on it.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, the real threat from lost ordinances may come less from an accidental nuclear detonation and more from the release of radioactive materials into the environment.
Yeah, that's what I'm...
Sure.
Which can be dangerous in its own right.
Yeah, it's as scary as an explosion is.
That's what... I don't have it in here, but I remember reading it. You remember on the East Coast, I think it was New Jersey, they found all these drones flying around. There was a big...
Yeah. And
they were thinking that they were looking for radiation because they're thinking maybe there was either a leak,
a dirty bomb.
Or
somebody thought there was a dirty bomb, or that and I still am convinced that they were looking for something that we weren't told what they were looking for.
So
nuclear
they
related.
Outfitted a drone with a Frisker
Yeah.
And they were looking to see if they could narrow down where the radiation was coming from. As new technology develops, there may be renewed attempts to locate some of these old relics, especially if their whereabouts pose potential ecological or security concerns. For now, they serve as a sobering reminder of how easily accidents can happen, even when dealing with the world's most carefully guarded weapons. Hollywood offered its take on this nightmare in a 1996 thriller featuring John Travolta and Christian Slater, who played rival United States Air Force officers battling over 2 stolen nukes.
That was a good movie, too.
Was John Travolta the bad guy?
Yes.
Okay.
The movie was titled Broken Arrow, presumably because Empty Quiver just didn't have as much sex appeal. Because, I've been looking at it. Broken Arrow is not what they're doing. They're doing the Empty Quiver where they steal 2 nuclear. To ease your mind and not have you calling in to have your doomsday bunker installed, the Flight 2075 story above that we talked about with the Mark IV, and it was carrying a Mark IV atomic bomb containing a substantial quantity of natural uranium and 5,000 pounds of conventional explosives, but the bomb did not contain the plutonium core necessary for nuclear detonation.
It wasn't. Okay.
And in 1951, the U.S. military had no nuclear cores in its possession, as they were still entirely in the custody of the U.S. Atomic Energy Commission.
That's good to know.
But that's not to say that there haven't been instances of poop your pants moments. March 11th, 1958 in Savannah, Georgia. On March 11th, 1958, a U.S. Air Force Boeing B-47 ELM Stratojet took off from Savannah, Georgia, and was scheduled to fly to the United Kingdom. The aircraft was carrying nuclear weapons in case of a war with the Soviet Union broke out. Captain Earl Kaler noticed a fault light in the cockpit, indicating that the bomb's harness locking pin had not engaged.
Oh, boy.
He sent Captain Bruce Kulka to the bomb harness locking pin in the bomb bay area to fix the problem. As Kulka reached around the bomb to pull himself up, he mistakenly grabbed the emergency release pin, and the
That's a heck of a mistake.
And the Mark VI bomb dropped from the bomb bay doors. The bomb's weight forced the doors open, and the bomb dropped 15,000 feet to the ground. 2 sisters, 6-year-old Helen and 9-year-old Frances Gregg, along with their 9-year-old cousin Ella Davies, were playing 200 yards from a playhouse their father had built for them. The bomb struck the playhouse, and its high explosives detonated, creating a crater 70 feet wide and 35 feet deep.
Oh, my God.
Fortunately, the fissile nuclear core had been stored elsewhere on the plane, as where their father, mother, and brother, all 3 children, were hurt. The family sued
not killed, though.
Nope.
Wow.
The family sued the Air Force and received $54,000.
That's it? What year was this? It was
1958.
Okay,
that's a lot of money back then.
The
but
crater
if that would have been a fully loaded bomb,
oh yeah,
that would be a bigger crater than that.
Today the crater is still visible, although overgrown by vegetation.
Wow.
December 5th, 1965 in Okinawa, Japan. On December 5th, 1965, U.S. Navy Lieutenant Douglas Webster was supposed to take an A4E Skyhawk loaded with a nuclear bomb into the sky. On the USS Ticonderoga? Ticonderoga. I was thinking of the pencil.
Yeah, that's
aircraft carrier stationed in the Philippine Sea about 70 miles from Okinawa, Japan. The crew loaded the weapon onto the vehicle, and Webster got into the cockpit. The crew then pushed the plane to the elevator that would bring it up to the flight deck. The plan was for Webster to fly around and land back on the aircraft carrier, where the crew would unload the weapon. Webster never made it into the air. The Skyhawk rolled out of the elevator, and the crew began to frantically wave to Webster, calling on him to hit the brakes. According to the testimony during the post-incident Board of Inquiry investigation, the pilot seemed oblivious to the whistles and flagging and was looking down.
Probably checking his phone.
Chief Petty Officer Delbert Mitchell, who was on the crew that loaded the bomb into the Skyhawk, told the U.S. Naval Institute in 2019 that the Navy crew desperately tried to stop the Skyhawk, but they only managed to pivot it in place as it rolled inevitably to the side of the carrier. It hitting the netting on the side of the elevator, broke through it, and fell into the ocean. The nuke was armed.
Oof.
We never saw Lieutenant Webster after he climbed onto the cockpit or knew what efforts he may have attempted to get out of the Skyhawk.
So did he die?
But we were stunned to witness a plane, pilot, and nuclear weapon fall into the ocean. Mitchell and the rest of the ship looked into the ocean and watched as a Skyhawk sank into the ocean, its landing gear sticking straight up into the air. Efforts to save Webster and recover the nuclear bomb started immediately. The Navy called on other ships in the area to aid with the search, but discovered no sign of the missing nuke or plane, and they only ever found Webster's helmet.
Oh. So he's still down there, and and the bomb is still down there?
Yep. The Navy did not talk about the incident for decades. It reported the incident to Congress a year later when the Joint Committee on Atomic Energy was studying the shocking number of broken arrows. But the general public wouldn't learn that America had lost an active nuke off the coast of Japan until 1989.
Wow.
Japan is and was a U.S. ally, and it needed places like Okinawa to stage troops for the Vietnam War. The country, for obvious reasons, now has strict laws about having allies bringing nuclear weapons into its territory.
I wonder why.
Wow. So that sucks. That guy's still down there in the plane, and the nuclear bomb is still down there loaded.
Yep.
That's crazy.
January 21st, 1968, Thule Air Force Base in Greenland. When a fire broke out in the navigation compartment of a B-52 flying on alert near the Arctic Circle in January 1968, the plane attempted to land at Thule Air Force Base in Greenland. It crashed about 7 miles short of the runway and burst into flames, causing one bomb to detonate, one to burn, and 2 others to sink through the ice sheet into the bay. The accident spread radioactive contamination from the plutonium core across a 1,000-foot area near the crash. Nearly 250,000 cubic feet of contaminated ice, snow, water, and crash debris were removed to a storage site in the United States over the course of 4 months.
Wow.
Of the 2 weapons that went through the ice sheet, one was finally recovered in 1979, but an as yet unrecovered broken arrow still lies on the floor of Baffin Bay.
Wow.
January 17th, 1966, in Palomares, Spain. It's pretty hard to cover up a mid-air explosion of a B-52 carrying 4 hydrogen bombs when the event is witnessed by hundreds of onlookers.
Jeez.
So it came as no surprise to anyone when the Palomares incident, as it has become to be known, hit the front page of the New York Times in January 1966, just 3 days after the event occurred. During a routine refueling operation over Spain, an American B-52 patrolling on airport alert was struck by the fuel plane's boom, igniting the fuel. The KC-135 refueling jet exploded, killing all 4 of its crew members, but 4 members of the 7-man B-52 crew managed to parachute out to safety. None of the bombs were armed, but explosive material in 2 of the bombs that fell to Earth exploded upon impact, forming craters and scattering radioactive plutonium over the fields of Palomares, Spain. A 3rd bomb landed in a dry riverbed and was recovered relatively intact. The 4th bomb fell into the sea at an unknown location.
Wow.
Those are my favorites. We don't know where it went.
Palomares is a remote fishing and farming community. It was soon filled with nearly 2,000 U.S. military personnel and Spanish civil guards who rushed to clean up the debris and decontaminate the area. The U.S. personnel took precautions to prevent overexposure to the radiation, but the Spanish workers, who lived in a country that lacked experience with nuclear technology, did not. Eventually, some 1,400 tons of radioactive soil and vegetation were shipped to the United States for disposal.
That's a lot.
It is. Meanwhile, at sea, 33 U.S. naval vessels were involved in the search for that last missing hydrogen bomb. Using an IBM computer, experts tried to calculate where the bomb may have landed, but the impact area was too large for an effective search. Finally, an eyewitness account by a Spanish fisherman led investigators to a 1-mile area. On March 15th, a submarine spotted the bomb, and on April 7th, it was recovered. It was damaged, but intact.
Sweet. At least that one was found.
Mm-hmm.
January 24th, 1961, in Goldsboro, North Carolina. In one of the closest calls...
I think this one I've heard of.
In accidental nuclear detonation history, a single safety switch prevented a 20-megaton Mk-39 hydrogen bomb from exploding in North Carolina in January 1961. A B-52 carrying 2 bombs suffered a fuel leak in the wing. The plane exploded and dropped both bombs earthward. The parachute of one bomb deployed, but the other weapon nearly detonated when 5 of its 6 safety devices failed.
That's so
And
crazy.
it broke apart upon impact with the ground. While the Air Force recovered the bomb's plutonium, the thermonuclear stage containing uranium was never found. The Air Force subsequently purchased and fenced off the land easement in the area where the officials believed the uranium lies.
That's that one I've heard of. That it was just like a narrow, like a
5
coin
of the 6.
flip, coin flip. If we would have detonated a nuke on U.S. soil.
So about the timing of the fall of the Soviet Union and even the earlier, quote, Wild West Soviet Union nuclear program, it has been said, quote, there is no public hard evidence for lost Soviet nuclear weapons in pre- and post-Cold War.
They 100% did just like we have.
Yep. Mm-hmm. That being said, the inventory control system in the early post-Cold War left a lot to be desired. So it's not clear how we would know if any of them have ever gone missing. As for whether it's, quote, highly likely or not, I'm sure we can make that assumption one way or the other without any hard evidence.
Pretty accurately, I think.
Nuclear weapons are arguably desirable, but they are also arguably trouble, one you won't want to mess with. Mm-hmm. Since there is no, quote, market for nuclear weapons, that is, if you are a potential buyer or seller, because there is no safe haven for advertising your interest, and trying to establish one would be perilous. Nuclear weapons are kept in centralized facilities, and by the 1990s had circuitry in them to prevent from going off unauthorized times or from tampering. Most of them, but not all, are big and heavy and conspicuous, so they're not the easiest things to just walk off with. A more troubling scenario is someone walking off with several hunks of highly enriched uranium, which is much more plausible, though still unverified. You need about 150 pounds of highly enriched uranium to make a crude nuclear weapon, which is easily imaginable if someone is collecting it in increments. Plutonium requires a lot less material, but it's a more sophisticated weapon design.
Was it uranium that they used to give with the chemistry sets in like the 50s and 60s?
It was uranium.
And they would have a little Geiger counter that you would...
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, so they actually had that in like kids' chemistry.
Wow. It's like when we use cocaine to treat stuff.
Yeah. Yep.
So you just prescribed cocaine.
Just some of the some of the ones that are basically verified for the Soviet Union. October 3rd, 1986, a Soviet Yankee I-class nuclear-powered ballistic missile submarine suffered an explosion and fire in one of its missile tubes 480 miles east of Bermuda. The submarine sank while under tow in October 6th. In 18,000 feet of water, 2 nuclear reactors and approximately 34 nuclear weapons were on board.
18,000 feet of water. That's hard to comprehend, actually. I feel like we could do an episode on like deep sea stuff.
So it's down there. Yeah. I don't think anybody would ever be able to reach that.
No.
But you would think that the pressure down there would have done something
imploded
to
it.
Yeah.
Like
the Titan thing. That's frightening on its own.
Yes.
April 7th, 1989, the Atlantic Ocean, about 300 miles north of the Norwegian coast. The Kosmolot, a Soviet nuclear-powered attack submarine, caught fire and sank. The vessel's nuclear reactor, 2 nuclear-armed torpedoes, and 42 of the 69 crew members were lost.
Dang.
So another South Soviet sub is on the bottom of the Atlantic Ocean.
With bombs on it.
Yep. And finally, August 10th, 1985, Vladivostok, Russia. While at the Chazma Bay repair facility, about 35 miles from Vladivostok, an Echo-class Soviet nuclear-powered submarine suffered a reactor explosion. The explosion released a cloud of radioactivity towards Vladivostok, but it did not reach the facility, but 10 officers were killed in the explosion. So nuclear weapons do have safeguards and redundancies to prevent against accidental nuclear detonation, but the above accidents illustrate that safeguards can easily fail.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
As the nuclear arsenal continues to age, it's increasingly likely that existing safeguards will never be sufficient to prevent a detonation. No nuclear weapons, even those with modern safeguards, are immune to accidents. The consequences of a broken arrow incident involving a nuclear detonation are enormous. Lives in the immediate area would be lost. Fallout could spread across the United States or whatever country it happens in. Each additional nuclear weapon that is maintained increases its risk of an accident.
Yikes.
Doesn't it seem like a huge chunk of those were human error too? Like people
I'd
just,
rather
I
deal
pulled
with-
the wrong pin,
I'd rather
or
deal with a ghost or Bigfoot than
yeah.
nuclear stuff. Anything like nuclear
That's
stuff freaks
scary.
me
Me
out.
too.
Like radiation freaks me out.
Yep.
Like the stories about people that were working at Chernobyl and stuff when that happened.
Yeah, when the Chernobyl TV show came out, it was super popular, and it basically did a good job of explaining, like, you don't think that there's anything happening.
No,
because it's not going to happen immediately.
Yeah.
But within hours, you've
get
already
sick,
had your death
hair's
sentence.
falling out. You get
Yeah.
sick. But just imagine if that one that they dropped over, what was that, North Carolina, West Virginia, whichever, like if
North
that
Carolina.
would have went off,
Yeah.
dropping like a huge nuclear bomb like that on the States, what effect that would have on everything, you know? So we're lucky that nothing.
Yeah, I don't know.
far.
I don't know if Dad ever heard of stories.
Well, I think I told you that when I know I've talked about this on the podcast, that when Dad lived at the apartments at Cedar Grove, where my first apartments, Dad had apartment 3D. I still remember that was his apartment. 3D. That we went there one night and we walked in and we were talking about stuff, and he went to the closet and he came back and handed me a folded piece of paper. And I said, "What is this?" And he said, "Never tell anybody that you saw this, that I showed you this." So now I'm saying that, of course. But I opened it up, and it was a map of the United States, and it had circles all over the United States. And I said, "What is this?" And he said, "There are people that would kill you right now to see that." And it was a map of where all the nuclear missile silos were in the United States. And you know, like, that's when we talk about we didn't know exactly what he did. Like, he must have been involved in the digging for the site. Like, he was a tunneler, like, he was a driller. But then, like, he told our aunt, he told her, and she told me this, that he said, quote, "Whenever anybody asks me what I do for the government, I'm a driller, but I do so much more than that." You know, so Kory and I are still convinced that
You could do a whole show on your dad if you were going to do the.
I was going to do the freedom of information. I just never did because I kept thinking, like, there's really nothing. But
I bet there's
at this
more
point,
than you think.
maybe it's just worth it.
Yeah,
because you have to suggest.
I think he was a driller, but I think he had super high security clearance to get into
he was at
places.
Area 51.
He was at Dugway. He was at Area 51.
Yeah, so all I got to do is put the freedom of information paperwork in to where, so the Corps of Engineers, Department of Defense.
You're
there's like
probably
going to
get something that's highly redacted, but
and then it says how much are you willing to spend. So I think I put like $200 or $300 for somebody to compile, print, send all the information. I thought, I don't know, maybe that was too low, maybe that was too high.
Yeah.
So I just never did. And the paperwork is still on my computer at work. Like, I still have all the freedom of information. It's all filled out. I just never sent it. So,
you know, like, I think about the story he told our aunt about that he was on this top secret base. I don't know if it was Dugway, but that he was driving along the road to the base, and he was looking off on the side, and there were boulders. And he said there were like 3 scientists standing around a boulder just staring at it. And then he said a panel opened up on it, and they reached in and pulled something out that looked like a dummy or something like that. They don't know what it was. Yeah, so I mean, he had stories.
That could be an interesting podcast.
Yeah, that could be.
I think
like a series.
Yeah, but I wish
there's a movie, and
I wish he had like kept a memoir or diaries or something.
I thought assumed he would have. He has a calendar of where he was,
and that's where I found out that he was at Dugway, which amazed me that he was at, because Dugway is like the new Area 51 where all the top secret stuff. And
so I did a chronology of where he all was and what dates and months and years he was at those places.
And then you could kind of like pinpoint, compare that to like things that have happened.
Yep.
Ooh.
Well, you know, like the whole bunker buster bombs that. The bomb drops, goes into the ground, and then a secondary propulsion system blows it down even further into the ground. I knew about that before that was ever announced on the news, because he was telling me about that like way a long time ago. Because he told me that one day. He said the government has stuff that you would never in a million years.
I was trying to think of the movie. I don't know if it's Die Hard 3, where everybody thinks he's trying to do one thing, but the bad guy is actually trying to detonate all the bombs inside of the silos.
Yeah.
And that's something that could easily be done too now.
Yeah.
computer technology and that Stuxnet.
But then they were saying that a lot of the silos have been recommissioned to
like
apartments.
Yeah.
Like you can live in an old nuclear.
Oh, yeah.
But yeah, I remember. So I don't know, but that stuff just freaks me out. We're lucky. It's like that story about the guy that.
Yeah.
The guy that
I know what you're gonna say.
Yeah, that
got the alerts.
That
was gonna press the button.
The Russian general that got the alerts that we sent off a bunch of nukes to them, and it was his decision not to. And it turns out it was a computer glitch.
Mm-hmm.
But if he would have hit the button, that would have bombed us. And sometimes that makes me think that. And I was actually going to do this season, and I didn't do it because I was fascinated by stories about. There's a lot of stories about UFOs going around nuclear missile sites and shutting down the missiles, which is really interesting. So it's like something almost watches out for us for our own stupidity.
Yeah, right.
So that's fascinating stuff, Kory.
Wow. Yeah.
That's
scary. Like you said, that's terrifying.
It's more terrifying to me than ghosts or...
I don't know which Terminator movie it was.
Hopkinsville Goblins.
But there was one of them where a bomb of some kind went off and a wall of fire came and just burned everybody.
That was when she was watching through the fence in Terminator 2.
Yeah, Terminator 2.
Yeah.
And that left an impression on me.
Well, that's like I watch...
I had nightmares about that.
I was reading an article about The Day After that came out in the early 80s. And if you watch it now, it's cheesy, but watching it at the time, it freaked people out because it was like the first depiction of people getting killed in a nuclear, where somebody would be grabbing their baby when the bomb went off, and then you'd see their skeletons as the bomb went off.
Well, you can still see that like in Nagasaki and Hiroshima where
the shadows were burnt onto the...
That's wild. Yeah, I've seen that.
Yeah.
I was trying to think of the Matt Damon movie where there's a... nuclear bomb goes off in a stadium and it kills a bunch of people. I can't think of the life for me what it was called, but I'm looking.
I'm not familiar with that one.
The Sum of All Fears.
Oh,
I've heard of it,
okay.
but I've never seen it.
Yeah,
but that nuclear stuff just scares me. And I was really happy when I thought we were getting rid of all of our nuclear weapons, but now, and we're not. And even then, I'm sure we didn't because of mutually, what's it called?
Assured destruction?
Yeah, mutually assured destruction where... if we get bombed and we're all dead, we still have a system in place that will send our bombs back to them to kill them. So yeah, that's...
even being at work, I'm at work watching the Hiroshima and Nagasaki documentaries, or I'm looking at what happened at 3 Mile Island, and I'm working at a nuclear plant. Watching documentaries about nuclear plants melting down and
it's frightening.
Chernobyl and...
Well, there's an uplifting end to the season.
Yeah.
Talk about nuclear bombs. That was a good topic.
It was.
Did you get that from the Thinking Sideways list?
There was a couple different ones I wanted to do, and then for whatever reason, this one jumped into my head.
I actually wanted to talk about this, about lost nuclear bombs.
I can kind of do this one. This one sounds more interesting than...
Yeah, it was good.
Yeah, that was good.
Now everybody's thoroughly
What
freaked
time are we
out.
looking at?
We're perfect.
Okay.
An hour and a half.
Okay. And then we go to the Christmas episode after this possible Christmas episode.
Alleged.
So thank you, Kory, for doing another story.
Yes.
Do we got anything else for the end of the season?
I don't think so.
Congrats again to the trivia winners. We'll be contacting you about what exactly you're winning. Maybe the rest of these Bean Boozled jelly beans.
We got Bean Boozled last week.
Oh, Kory's going to take one.
Kory likes to just randomly
pick one.
He'll pick vomit and be like, yeah, not too bad. There you go.
What is it?
Either rotten eggs.
Oh, that's a bad one. Popcorn. Oh, the butter popcorn one is really good.
The rotten egg one is real bad.
Oh, butter popcorn.
Lucky. I'm the only one that really gets those. Kurt? Oh, I got to do one?
Yeah.
Oh, man.
We know you're going to get a bad one.
He always does.
I'm not doing that one because I just did that last time.
Was that the fish one?
Yep.
We've had that one a couple times.
Peach or barf?
I have a really hard time distinguishing between the different ones, actually. I'll do one. What the heck? I'll wash it down with one of these spicy sweet pasta things. What'd you get?
Peach.
Peach. That means I'm going to get bamboozled. Bamboozled? Ah!
That was actually really good.
Ooh. That was
an impressive tweak.
So dead fish was the worst?
I can't read what this is. Can you tell me what that is?
Peach one is actually really good. You have...
And can you pick it for me? Because I can't tell.
Tutti Frutti or Stinky Socks?
Stinky Socks. Here we go.
Are we going to all get a good one?
Tutti Frutti.
Wow. That's a good way to end the season. Oh, Kory's going.
That was really good.
The peach one was good. That means we're going to have a lot of bad ones in there left.
What'd you get, Kory? I think it was toothpaste? A bad one.
It wasn't a bad one. I just can't think of what it is. I'll keep going until I get
He's just snacking on him at this point.
I'm going to randomly grab one.
It's like rubber. Well, it might be liver and onions.
Oh, we've had the liver and onion ones recently. And it weirdly does taste exactly like liver and onions. What do you got?
It's not bad.
I don't know. I think it's supposed to be a bad one, but it was good.
Dirty dishwater?
Maybe. I think it makes a difference if you read it and you know what to expect.
Oh,
he got a bad one.
that's rotten egg.
I don't know what that was, but it was good.
That's funny. The odds that you would then pick rotten egg.
The rotten egg one is gross.
Yeah.
So I think that's it for...
Actually, the spoiled milk one is probably one of the worst.
I don't know if I've ever had this.
Oh, it's bad.
Did I have the spoiled milk?
I remember Jeff and Joe tasting those like back in the school, and I thought Joe was going to throw up.
I wonder what that gross one was I just had, because it wasn't that gross. Maybe.
Was it the liver and onions?
No, because the liver and onions one was...
Old Bandage?
Oh, maybe. I bet you it was Old Bandage.
Oh, gross.
Yeah, I bet you it was Old Bandage, because it wasn't that
Gross.
bad.
Like,
Maybe I got to start snacking on bandages.
Old bandages?
I could be like Tarrare.
Yeah, right?
Start eating bandages. Anything else to say for season 9?
Wow. No.
Nothing?
It's a wrap.
Yeah,
It's a wrap. Another season in the books.
Mm-hmm.
One more season coming for phase 1, and then stay tuned for phase 2, because when we know what that'll be, you'll know what that'll be. We still have no idea what it'll be. Oh, Lucy,
it took Lucy
Lucy
a whole
wanted
episode.
to say goodbye.
Yeah, she's whining at the top of the stairs.
So, Kory, thank you again so much for joining us for the season finale. Thank you for your story, for nightmares I'll probably have from that. And I think that's it. So, I suppose I could do that. Oh, Lucy girl. You can email us at thestrangesessions@gmail.com. We are on Instagram, where Chris does a great job at The Strange Sessions. You can send postcards. Oh, I got to pay for I just got a notification.
Or a P.O. box?
Yeah, you're going to have to PayPal me some money.
Sure.
We'll do another year. I don't remember how much it was.
Okay.
Send postcards and snail mail to The Strange Sessions at P.O. Box 434, Manitowoc, Wisconsin, 54221-0434. You can call our lonely phone line at 920-443-9602. And you can send listener stories to thestrangesessionsstories@gmail.com.
Are there any voicemails that we haven't listened to?
Probably. I'll look. We'll play them next time.
And thank you, Scott.
Season 10, we'll get this figured out.
Yeah, we'll get this figured out in our last
highly
season.
Unlikely. Also, thank you again, Scott, for this.
Yes, thank you so much. Thank you so
thoughtful.
much. And I think that is it. So, Kory, thank you once again for joining us. Maybe we'll see you at the Christmas episode.
Yeah, we'll see if
What
I can,
Christmas
we'll see if I can
episode?
make it.
Exactly. So we love you guys. Thank you so much for sticking with us through thick and thin. And from Kory, Krista, and myself, until next time, stay strange.